Welcome to summer. We had some sunshine last week, but it was freezing cold. This is the first day of the year where I'm comfortable in my shorts and t-shirt. The good weather finally arriving late has descended my life into absolute chaos. I have way too much to do and not enough time. I'm going to bring you with me on a Friday when I am in a rush the entire time. At the start of the week we got all them drains finished up that you might have seen in last week's video, and we also built this new lane. And the reason for this new lane is just to improve access into one of our grazing fields. This field now has 4 entry and exit points, so that is more than suitable. And our first decision this morning is, can I put the cows back in here tonight, or will they have to stay in the house? Decision is the cows are not going in there tonight. I might actually put them in to fresh grass, which I think is the better plan than trying to keep them in tonight. So that's what we'll do later on this evening. Next job on the list this morning is to find the slurry pipe, find the slat lifters, take out a load of slurry from one of the many little stupidly small slurry tanks we have on this farm. And then that means after we do that, I can hook off the slurry tanker and hook on the harvester, because I need to get it all set up, serviced and ready to go for silage at the end of next week. While I'm here, I'll also show you this. You'll notice the handle on this gate has been cut off and grinded smooth, because this handle has now burst 2 tyres on the JCB, and it has caused us a lot of problems and cost us a lot of money. That's okay. Is Lauren working tomorrow, or?
Yeah, so...
Do you want to come in tomorrow? Yeah, you come in tomorrow. I'm gonna... Will you go bring the wee tractor down? And I'll put the seam and we'll scrape that back a bit, and then I'll put the pipe in. Oh, I hate these wee slurry tanks. They are the pain of my life. So what happened to the JCB tyre? Well, 2 years ago, I burst a tyre on that little bar that was sticking out. And last week, my dad done exactly the same thing on exactly the same tyre, which was a new tyre to replace the one which I burst 2 years previous. The worst thing was I couldn't even get angry because I had done it 2 years earlier. So the tyre my dad burst last week is away getting vulcanized. It should be back today. We did have the old repaired tyre for when I burst it, and we put it on the loader and it done for like 3 days, and then it exploded 2 days ago. So hence why the loader is sitting in the middle of the yard with an exploded tyre. It should be fixed later on today. And unfortunately, this means I am going to have to replace the tyres on the JCB. They need replaced anyway, but I was hoping to leave that to next spring. I'm now going to have to buy them now, because I am not risking the entire silage operation on a dodgy tyre. So I probably need to get that sorted today and get them ordered for silage next week. And I just spent a fortune of money on new tyres for the Puma. Oh, just push it back a bit. Yeah, and then leave the tractor up there. Oh my days. Right, okay. Do you want to reverse? It should have been emptied sooner than this, anyway. You can reverse the tanker and I'll move the gate for you. Second try is not bad. I have a plan to get rid of 2 of the 3 small tanks, and it involves building a giant long slurry tank across the front of this farm, essentially, and joining into a cowhouse tank. But it's going to be like a £250,000 project, hence why it's not done, hence why it probably isn't going to be done in the next 2 or 3 years. It might never be done if the Northern Ireland planning system doesn't catch itself on and wise up and actually allow people to build buildings. The majority of next week's work is going to be getting this silage pit ready for the first cut, The back was used to store calves and house them whenever we had too many. That all has to be cleaned out, the gates removed, the water drinker disconnected. There's a couple of old tyres off the Puma which have to be taken out. And then the biggest job by far is this heap of manure, which is going to have to be spread, hopefully, on Monday. Ooh, free stuff. Excellent. It's going to be such a shame to dirty the new tyres. I'm actually gutted. Why is there manure here? No. We'll just go down and check what tyre pressure they were left at. I'm hoping they were left at 15 psi. I didn't tell them that I wanted them left at that, so it's highly unlikely that they were, but let's find out. So in the end, I ended up going for Michelin Exobibs. They're the same tyre that was on it previously. They are definitely the premium tyre. They are significantly more expensive than other brands. But my logic was that I know how good these tyres are. The previous set of Michelin Exobibs were on this tractor since 2009. So that's 15 years and 6,500 hours. And 5 or 6 years of that life were spent running at low pressure the entire time, on the road, in the field, everything. I had no punctures, I had no problems with the tyre. They're just a really, really good tyre. "15 psi. Well played, JB Tyres. Let's check the back one. The back tyres are 20 psi, but I don't have the patience to let them down, so I'm going to get the guy from Michelin to come out with his load cells and he can do the pressures precisely. That's the first 2 trailer load of cattle away today. We have 70 to go out in total. I'm now going to go and take the Jimny and close some cattle into a different field so that there's a field between the 2 batches. It'll make sense when I'm there. Obviously the Jimny is not much good for towing a trailer, so I'm going to use it to go up and close these gates. What a machine. I could walk through this field to close the calves in, or I could try to drive the Jimny through this field. And I know which is going to make a better video. So let's see how good the Jimny really is off-road. We have 4-wheel drive engaged. I better put my seatbelt on in case this goes very badly wrong and I tumble. This is a genuinely really wet field. This is the first time this Jimny's been actually properly off-road. If I had a single wet spot, I'm stuck. Like, oh dear, this is a mistake. Right, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. And no, this is not a silage field, this is a grazing field. The amount of grass on them is ridiculous. There is 30 or 40 heifers coming in here today, so the ones in this back field have to be closed in a field to the left so that they don't break through our very dodgy fence. That thing is class. I am seriously considering making that the farm vehicle. We actually sold our old Defender a few weeks ago and I've been meaning to buy a pickup, but I've never got round to actually buying one. And now I'm sort of warming to the idea of using the Jimny as a farm vehicle and not buying a pickup. And then if we ever need to move cattle, we put the cattle trailer onto the tractor because we don't have any distance to go, so it's almost better on the tractor than a pickup. I don't know, I'm still trying to work it out. Hopefully these heifers follow me out. Come on! Come on! They're not going to follow me, are they? They're perfectly happy. They don't want to move field. That is a proper crop of grass. If you're wondering why it's lying flat, I sprayed quite a lot of silage ground with herbicide, and that's one of the risks, is that after a while it just lies flat, but as long as it's cut next week, it should be fine. Come on! My trainers at this point are absolutely soaking wet. It was a bad choice of footwear to do this job. Not going to come in, so I'm just going to walk down to them and try and chase them in, which is going to result in all of them ending up in the field which I want them out of. This was my dad with the JCB when he was trying to do fencing last week. What a mess. Oh my days. A sturdy fence post to climb over. Oh, the barbed wire just fell off the post. At least I can now go under. How am I going in there, my trainers? Hunch! Hunch! Yes. 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 Hunch! I cannot believe that worked. My goodness. Just tie this securely with the barbed wire, which is always how it's done. This is generational. This kind of bodge job nonsense. My father learned it from his father. I learned it from my father. I love this thing. Would that be a good thumbnail? I'll take a photo just in case. So I just hooked the JF onto the 8S. It's a pretty straightforward process. You just have to change the hitch, change the PTO, make sure all the control boxes set up. It's not too bad to hook on. The plan was to give this a wash and maybe get this done this afternoon, but all them plans are probably going to be thrown out the window because I have hit a slight problem. The JCB tyre, which I said earlier in this video was going to be changed and fixed today, is now not going to be fixed until maybe Wednesday next week. And even if I buy a new set of tyres, it might be Tuesday or Wednesday before they arrive. And I need the JCB by Tuesday at the absolute latest. So the people who supplied the tyres for the Puma JB tyres, they have the tyres for the JCB in their yard in stock, but it's like an hour and a half from my house, and then I have to get someone to fit the tyres, at least one of the 4 new tyres today or maybe tomorrow. That's them phoning back now, I think. It is. Let's see what happens. I'm really not sure if I should put this on video, but I don't know. Right, anyway, my problem's been solved. This is where you start getting into dealing with companies and it gets stressful. Okay, the problem has been solved. The problem has been solved. Now, it's cost me like another 8 grand on tyres. So I have spent an unimaginable amount of money on flipping tyres this week, but they're going to be fitted at the weekend, which is what matters, and I don't have to drive an hour and a half. Oh my goodness, that is a relief, but it's an expensive relief, but fair play. Right, how do I make this so that I'm not pissing off either of the 2 tyre companies? I'm going to go with the strategy of just honesty. I think that's the best plan. So JB Tyres are the main Michelin dealer, and Michelin wanted to encourage me to put Michelins on my Puma. So I agreed to that, I done it, I got a good price on these tyres. Nothing amazing, right? But enough to make me want to go with Michelin. My local tyre dealer, WW Tyres, is fantastic. Genuinely fantastic. If you're stuck, they'll sort you out, okay? And they were out this morning to repair the tyre that you seen blowing up, but we failed to tell them that it was a catastrophic failure. So their plan was repair the tyre, it'll keep us going until they get the tyre back from the vulcanizers next week. When they seen the tyre obviously couldn't be repaired, they said they would try and sort something out for me, see if they could get a new set of tyres before next week. I, in the meantime, decided to see if I could find a set myself from the same people who fitted these lovely tyres to this case, and they had a set in stock. That phone call was WW Tyres telling me that they could get me a set of Michelins and they could fit them for me over the weekend. Today is Friday lunchtime, so that is fantastic service. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with letting WW Tyres order the Michelins for me. They may be a little bit more expensive, I don't know, probably not, hopefully the same price, I assume. And that means that the JCB will be going again over the weekend, so I'll have it for next week, so my silage will proceed as normal. Does that all make sense? Hopefully it does. Both companies have been amazing, they always are. And I am a big fan of Michelin's, to be honest. Even though they are expensive, I do think they're worth it. Hopefully that all made sense. Let's get back to doing some actual work. And now that I don't have to travel an hour and a half, I can probably get the JF sorted out today as well. So the next job is to bring the heifers over so the vet can PD them before they go out to the field. Oh my goodness, today is just a mess. I'm gonna have to start doing what Ollie Blogs does and just post a video every day to pay for the amount of money that I have basically set fire to in the last week between tyres and draining and machinery repairs and I just told someone how much I've spent in tyres this week and he's just sent me like 7 messages back. Being like, how is that possible? What we're currently feeding the animals that are still in the house with, at least the tyres for this are a lot less money. I'll probably take a second to explain why I'm buying new tyres for the JCB when there still is some life left in the old ones. Main reason is obviously because I have a burst tyre, and even a vulcanized tyre, I do not trust it enough to leave our entire silage operation vulnerable to a puncture. But the plan is also to take these tyres off, set them to one side, and then come October again, when all we do is yard work for 6 months, these tyres will be going back on. So the next set of Michelin exhibits on this JCB should last much longer than 4,000 hours. When I got this JCB, I had priced a new set of rims and hard wearing tyres for over the winter to keep this set good just for buckraking, because you do need treads for buckraking, otherwise you just spin and go nowhere. But they were coming into like 6 grand once you priced in the rims. So I figured I may as well just buy another set of these tyres when I needed them and just have the one set of rims, and then swap the almost bald tyres over for winter, because they will do another 3,000 or 4,000 hours no problem on the road. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So the new set of tyres that go in this JCB will only be on it for the summer months to allow us to buckrake. And I can't risk the entire operation on a single vulcanized tyre. That's why I've just decided to buy 4 new ones. And it's a painful expense, but you're better getting it over with now rather than having more nightmares and problems to deal with down the line. I swear if I had to drive this every day, I think I'd stop farming. But at the minute, I'm very grateful for it. So I'll be here any minute. So we need to get these heifers over to the crush. This is definitely my most random YouTube video to date, and I'm definitely recording way too much footage, but hopefully it gets across this day of pure panic with too much to do. My dad, David and Calvin are all over putting out our out farm. So there's maybe 50 animals gone out over there this morning, and they'll be back after lunch to put these calves out. Come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't go the wrong way. Come on. 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 Shh. Don't let them turn around. Come on. Shh. Come on. Shh. Come on. Shh. Come on. Don't go into the silo. Do not go in there. Do not go in there. Come on. Shh. Come on. Shh. This is where I find out I haven't closed the crush gate or something stupid. Come on. So these were all synchronized and AI'd at some point in March, I think. So they're being PD'd, so we know which is in calf and which isn't in calf, so we can split them in 2, with one batch going to the bull and the other batch not going to the bull. And that front door is open. That is very dangerous. The vet's late, so I am going to start washing this harvester. Once I've PD'd the heifers, I'll let you know how we get on. Usually we get about 55% conception to timed AI, so we'll see how we do there. And I have no idea what's going to happen this afternoon. I'll have to figure that out when I get there. So. everything ready to work at this, and I'm going to run it for the first time this year to check that everything's working and sounds like it should. These wheels allow you to fold the spout right down and get access to the blades, the shear bar, all that sort of stuff. It's a really, really smart design, have to say. Not going to do much without the PTO shaft connected. We're ready to go. I will move you to the back window so you get the full effect of the JF starting up for the first time in 2024. I am absolutely plastered, so as soon as it is done, I'm going to go for lunch. The vet's still not here, no idea why. I'm not going to hang about and wait, I'm hungry. But let's see how this goes. Hopefully I haven't left any tools anywhere. Nothing happened over the winter. There's always a risk, so fingers crossed. It's a wee bit nervous. Right, okay, so spout up. I barely remember how to work all this. Yeah, and you're not going to be able to see how high the spout is. It's a giant spout, trust me. So far so good. Turn the spout. Perfect. So far so good. Tilt the spout. Yeah, so far so good. Let me see if I can give you more spout action. There you go. That's how high the spout is. Now for the nervous bit. Starting it up. So we need to run it in reverse first. So we're going to go into 1000 shaft. And we're going to turn on the PTO, I think. Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm so nervous. And then we're going to put it in reverse until the magnets, the metal detector clears. Right, metal detector's good. And then we're going to put it into forward just at a low speed. And get ready to hit the off on the PTO. Okay. Right, let's rev her flat out now. Check the rail first of all. Rail's good. Alright, here we go. Oh, I've missed this sound. Oh, this gets me very excited for silage. Very good. I think I'm happy. Everything seems to be working. If you're wondering what that rattle is, it's just the chain on the PTO. Okay. Welcome back to like 6 hours later on this busy Friday, and all of the plans which I said in my video before lunch didn't materialise, didn't happen. This afternoon was kind of mental. I have some fertilizer to finish off my day. I'm going to set up the camera and I'll take you through what happened in the last 5 hours and explain how I ended up sowing fertilizer and why I'm using the Puma and not the 8S with the new sower. Okay, let's go. Last job of the day. So where did I leave off? Before I even got to go for my lunch, the vet arrived. I had to PD the heifers. So we PD'd 28 heifers and we got 15 of them in calf to synchronized AI. That is exactly the same as last year, 55%. We don't follow up after the first AI because we use it to split the batch. Don't worry about why, 55%, I'm happy with it. It's the same as last year, which is better than the previous 3 years, so we're going to take that. Went and got my lunch late, and then I wasn't back for my lunch until 2 o'clock, and then I had to help them get the batch of 40 heifers out to the field. They all had to be injected, put through the crush, sorted out for in calf and not in calf, and that took me up until 3 o'clock. At that point, obviously, I was not going to be servicing any harvester. So I chatted to David, who is like, I was going to say my mechanic, but he's definitely not a mechanic. But he helps me do the JF. And we're actually going to do it now tomorrow morning. So that's good. JF's been done tomorrow morning. However, I had planned to sow fertilizer tomorrow morning, and that's now not going to happen. That combined with the fact that there's rain coming tonight, and then no rain in the forecast for like a week later, means that I decided at like 3:30 that I have to sow all of the fertilizer I plan to do tomorrow, tonight. So I have all the paddocks sowed up to date. including the paddock I was going to put the cows into tonight, but I changed that because the cows broke out this afternoon and came up themselves to the house at like 2 o'clock. A lot has went on, so the cows are now getting fresh grass tonight, so I've sowed all the paddocks right up to date, and I am now going to sow the last 2 fields, which still have not been sowed this year. And the reason they haven't been sowed this year is they were only piped with slurry last week because things have been so wet. So that's what we're doing now. I have 1.5 ton of urea in the sower. I am applying it at a rate which will allow me to cover the 30 acres, which is 110 kilograms per hectare. And we will be back sowing this field for a second application with the front and back sower in 2 weeks or so after the first cut silage. Does that all make sense? Hopefully. Right. I'll catch up with you when I get to the field. The field in front of us on the left of this T-junction is one of my silage fields, and it is in desperate need of being cut. I really need to get my silage off. Oh, I've had 3 people today send me memories or photos of us doing silage on this day last year, so kind of sucks that it's not happening at the minute, but it's fine. Next week we've got a wee dry window of weather coming at the end of the week, and I'm going to have everything ready to do the majority of our first cut. It'll definitely not be all of our first cut. This 30 acre block is some of our first cut, and it's only been sowed for the first time, but we should get 140 acres out of the 180 acres of first cut done next week. Everyone's fields just look so bad this year, and it's kind of nice for me to see everyone else struggling as well, but like, I just really bothers me to see my fields in bad shape. Oh yeah, I didn't explain, why am I using the old fertilizer sower and not the... I have to tighten them flipping check chains. I'm going to get plastered doing it. The reason I'm using the old fertilizer sower and not the new one I have on demo from Farmhand is simply because the 8S is on the harvester, and I did not have the time or the patience to hook the harvester off and to hook the fertilizer sower on to the 8S, especially not when I have the Puma sitting there with nothing on and a new set of tyres to try out. So that's why I'm using the Puma to sow this. This is 30 acres of totally wasted ground. It only does 2 cuts a year. It's so wet for most of the year we can't get into it. It just is a mess. But the problem with it is that it's 30 acres in essentially one field, and it needs drained, and them drains are probably going to cost like 30 grand, and I've kept putting off reseeding it because I want to do the drains, but then I can't afford to do the drains, so I don't reseed it. So after second cut this year, provided we get some weather, I am going to start reseeding this block of ground because it badly needs it. This top hedge here, it needs drained the whole way across. It is a sinkhole, an absolute sinkhole, as I'm about to demonstrate. I'm going to have to stay out of it a wee bit. But like, can you see the tracks? Can you see how much I've sank in? It's just ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. See down here, right in front of us? This is another wet spot. What that needs is a drain. It needs drains. I cannot reseed this until I drain it. I just can't. Oh, this field is so bad. This field is so bad. Oh my days. Now we're going to go into the field which has rushes growing in it. Actual rushes. I have not seen rushes in my silage ground ever. What is going on? Oh my days. So why are the rushes here? Because it hasn't got fertilizer and it's flipping May. That's why the rushes are here. You ready to do a power slide as we try to turn? This is actually the dry end of the field, so it should be okay. This field is actually a disgrace. Like a genuine, really bad disgrace. How do I fix this? Definitely coming back with muriate of potash. Probably need to get this field limed as well, but if you're going to lime it, you might as well reseed it. This is the problem. Right, after first cut, yeah, the plough's coming in here. I just can't deal with this. This is just annoys me so much. Now this is a wet corner down here, and on the far side of them bushes is a 20-meter vertical drop. So let's hope that I don't slide off that cliff. Okay, we're good. We're good. Every single blade of grass in this field also is weed grass, like total and utter crap. Total crap. Anyway, that'll do us for today. I'm going to soldier on and finish this awful field and then go home in a bad mood for my dinner. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Friday more than I've enjoyed my Friday. But farming is very often a bit depressing, to be honest. If you enjoyed this week's video, give it a like. Consider subscribing if you really enjoyed it. And any advice, comments, stick them down below. There will be a Wednesday video this week. It is not going to happen very often, but I'm going to try and do like a really detailed specialized video in the middle of the week if I have something which I think would do well on it. And the plan for this week is that tomorrow morning we're going to set the JF up for silage. We're going to change the blades, change the shear bar, check the chains, change some slip clutches, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a Wednesday video that's going to be all about that. But anyway, for now, thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you again.